This is the future.
What's up, YouTube and Facebook, and welcome to Not Quite Mint. Today we're going to spotlight the old green monster himself, the Hulk. So today we're going to go through his keys, his first appearance, his most expensive, and then mine and Richard's favorite kind of Hulky stories and keys. So shall we get into it, Rich?
Yeah, let's get started then, Tom. And as always, guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure that you do subscribe. Give us a thumbs up down below. And also, I don't know where I put it, actually. I think, is it back here? Yeah. Obviously, press the little bell icon next to subscribe, and then you will know when we are going to go live with our live streams and any new videos. And hopefully we will be able to actually bring some new content to you if obviously lockdown and everything starts getting eased. I know we've got some pretty good ideas, haven't we? So yeah. In addition to that, guys, we are running a giveaway at the moment. Stay to the end if you want to obviously find out more details on how to take part in that. But obviously we've got a big stack of comics there for this month's obviously giveaway. So do make sure that you are part of that, and we'll go through the details in a bit.
Happy days.
Happy flipping days. But as Tom said, we are here to talk Hulk. So shall we do first appearance first of all?
Yeah, let's do first appearance of the Green Rage. Oh, wait, hold on. He's not green and he's not raging. So he is grey in this one. And it's the Incredible Hulk issue 1. And he's not green because apparently it's a lot harder to colour green back in the day. So this one is the first appearance of Hulk. It's the origins of Hulk. It's the first appearance. Actually, it's not the first appearance of Bruce Banner, I believe. I think it's Bruce Banner's second appearance. But it's the first appearance of General Thunderbolt Ross, Betty Ross, and Rick Jones. I was going to say Rick Grimes then, but that's Walking Dead, so that's a complete difference.
Yeah, the stick with Rick Grimes, that might be actually like really random. But yeah, so I mean, first Hulk. I think it's for anybody who's into comics who doesn't know roughly what happened to Bruce Banner, whether they watched it on a TV show.
Hi, Rich.
Oh, we got visitors, cool. But yeah, I think anybody who hasn't got an idea of what the Hulk sort of is all about, they wouldn't be a very good comic book fan or like Marvel fan in general, would they? So
he's kind of
yeah, I think it's not until I've read like Immortal Hulk more recently and stuff that you sort of like you start realizing how much conflict's actually going on in there, like in his head.
I think Jack Kirby. I might be wrong on this one. So if Greyman actually comes in, he might be able to correct me on this one. But I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Jack Kirby originally, along with Stan Lee, came up with the idea of Hulk that he wasn't necessarily going to be a hero. He was going to be like Frankenstein's monster, but was kind of based around this idea that he's got terminal cancer. So like Hulk is terminal cancer. He can't get rid of it, but he's got to live with it. So that's kind of the idea of it that I can imagine. Hulk is a poor man's Solomon Grundy. No way, Rich. When he first arrived, yeah, I agree, actually. To be fair, in that first issue, but mind you, he's supposed to be dumb and a rage-fueled machine. In the first issue, he's neither of those two things.
Yeah, he's probably like having a conversation and being a bit like it's that like split personality. You can definitely see that where it's the monster within, and he doesn't know who Bruce Banner is and everything like that. That's there from the start.
Yeah, I kind of like that he straight away refers to them as puny humans, and that's like something that's then gone on throughout the whole of Hulk's history.
Yeah,
I did. To be fair, I did actually really like this first issue. I thought it was better than some of the other Marvel first issues that we've read the last couple of weeks.
Of that era, definitely.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's not a scratch on Action Comics issue 1. I mean, so far that's been my favorite old school first appearance that we've read. In all fairness,
yeah,
but I did think this was really, really good. It's not my style of Hulk, because in this one it's at night he turns into the Hulk, and he's not a rage fueled monster, whereas the Hulk that I like and the Hulk that I grew up with was A, he was green, B, he was rage fueled, and C, he could turn into the Hulk at any time he got angry. So that's kind of what I like about the Hulk. So this one was a little bit different, but I liked it. I definitely did like it as an origin story. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I think like I haven't read. I'd never read the sort of like the Hulk from like the sort of like the 80s, like, you know, or the end of like the Silver Age ones until like more recently. So like I had read the Immortal Hulk because of all the buzz that was around Immortal Hulk, and as we were saying a little time ago, we were like, in Immortal Hulk again, it's like, you know, the monster's in control at night time. So when I read this issue 1 yesterday, which was the first time that I'd read like the origin of the Hulk, it kind of felt quite true to Immortal Hulk. So I'm quite looking forward to reading more Hulk and understanding about that, like that rage thing, and you know, where that all sort of that change, because that's who we see in like the MCU, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where it happened, where he then became a rage-fueled monster or anything like that. But that's the only Hulk I've ever read. I've never read much of the Grey Hulk either, Mr. Fix or whatever it is that he was called originally. He's like there's a few different versions of Hulk.
Yeah. It's they play on that a little bit in Immortal Hulk, where there's like the different sort of incantations almost of the Hulk take over at different stages dependent on what's happening. But it's that, like, that whole idea that it's like it is, you know, sort of like almost like one body with split personalities, and sometimes they interact with each other, and then most of the time they're not anywhere near each other. Do you know what I mean? But this book is mega rare. I'm surprised how rare Hulk #1 is, because there's not many that have sold recently or anything like that. But obviously, God, if you find one of these, I think, yeah, it's happy days as always.
Yeah. So a 9.2. I was going to say 9.6, but that would have been wrong. Is the only recorded one of this in its high value of 370,000. But a raw copy of this will set you back $5,000.
Yeah. It's bonkers, isn't it? I mean, as I say, again, I'm trying to think now, because obviously we know Amazing Spider-Man or Amazing Fantasy and then Amazing Spider-Man #1 are going to be a little bit more than this, I think, from what when we've covered those as keys in the past. But I don't know. I was quite surprised how the Hulk doesn't have like that draw from, like, you know, as many major keys.
I think if the Hulk was a bit more popular, a bit more like on the same level as Spider-Man, this book would be a hell of a lot more expensive. But the reason Amazing Fantasy is so expensive is because of who Spider-Man is, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, at the moment, I've been collecting Fantastic Four, but the main reason why I started collecting early Fantastic Four was because by equivalent, you can pick up your Fantastic Fours, you know, below 100, you know, numbered below 100 for, you know, in decent condition for around about a tenner. You can pick up most of them. Obviously, there's the exceptions with obviously the really early ones, and then your 48, 47, and 50, which is Silver Surfers, Galactus, and Black Panthers and stuff in 52. But it's like most of the ones around that you can pick up reasonably well, whereas Amazing Spider-Man, you're talking mad money for a lot, like, you know, standard issue. Well, not mad money, but like by equivalent, they're like 2 or 3 times more, as you say, just due to popularity. Whereas the Hulk, I think if I could get into the Hulk, that might be like my next sort of thing to collect, because a lot of like keys with the Hulk don't come until much later on, when they you know, they sort of go away from the Incredible Hulk, and they do, obviously, I think, is it around about 110 or 12 or 14 or something like that, where I think they change the numbering again or something. It's like
it's where he becomes green. It all kind of gets interesting after he becomes green.
Yeah, so it's sort of like I'm kind of like looking at it and I'm thinking, oh, I'd like to maybe pick up more sort of like of the Bronze Age, like late Silver Age Hulk, as a because like they do seem quite undervalued and they're readily available. Like as I say, like I mean, I'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, definitely good times. So that's his first appearance, and is that the most expensive comic with the Hulk in, or
No.
So the next
Him on
one,
his own, yes.
yes, but we're talking. This is
his most expensive appearance
yeah,
by a country mile, because
yeah,
this is a 9 record sale
yeah.
was 550,000, but you can get a raw one of these in like really in shit condition, excuse my language, for about 500 quid.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's what I say. The range is so different, isn't it? Especially for your mint copies. I mean, I had a read of this on the Marvel Unlimited app, and it's obviously billed as the first sort of like team up of like the Avengers or the Hulk in the Avengers and everything. And I found it like because you've got you're almost like still got your Tales of Suspense Iron Man in there. Obviously, is that sort of like gold thing. So very not recognizable as modern day Iron Man at all. You've got Ant-Man and Wasp in there, the Hulk, and then you've got obviously you've got Thor as well. And we obviously did the Thor as a key issue about 3 or 4 weeks ago, didn't we? And neither of us really enjoyed that Thor issue, did we?
No, his first appearance, the Journey into Mystery, whatever issue it was, which I can't remember which is bad, it just didn't grab me, which obviously it didn't, because otherwise I'd remember the numbering.
Yeah. Well,
but,
this one,
I mean, I didn't get around to reading this one, but I know it's the first appearance of them as a team. But you were saying that using the word first appearance as a team is a bit loose on this one.
Yeah, I think people if they read this one, they'll be expecting that kind of Greyman's in, Greyman.
Greyman.
But yeah, I think they kind of like have their own individual sort of stories effectively, and like it's the reason why I wasn't a big fan when I read this is the thing that we had with that first Thor. Where like it was, Loki was kind of like pulling the strings in the background and messing things up for the Avengers. Well, this was a very, very similar sort of premise to that. So I thought, it felt very similar when I was reading it, that Loki's doing all these things and trying to trick the various members of the Avengers. But then, you can see on the cover, you can see Loki up on the left-hand side there with his weird horned hat on. But it wasn't until right towards the end that they had any kind of like major kind of like interactions together. But it wasn't like reading Avengers Endgame, with them all teaming up. And the team, as I say, was Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Ant-Man and Wasp. So it was all a bit of a strange one. I think at one point in this, although I might be wrong, I can't think whether I can't remember if there was some mention to the Fantastic Four in this as well. But there was, as I say, it was a bit of a all over the shop kind of like issue. So I wasn't a big fan of the writing, but I don't know. It's still obviously a massive key issue, way too expensive than probably what me or you will probably get. And I don't really have much of an interest in the Avengers as such.
I prefer the new Avengers when Michael Bendis took over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's because I think I've got the first 25 of those, because that was like in my kind of like previous era of collecting as well. So is that the one where you had, is it the first Ronin and
Wolverine?
Yeah. So
Sentry.
You see, now that could be quite cool if that's the route that they go down with say like the next range of Avengers.
I feel the first issue is the first appearance of the Skrull Queen, who's posing as Spider-Woman. With then later on leads into Secret Invasion, but we're not here to talk about Secret Invasion.
No, we're not. We're not. We are not indeed. But yeah, what? So what did you say? What this one is would set you back at not a 9?
Yeah,
about
550,000 for a CGC 9, or between £500 and £900 for a raw, but a really bad copy.
It's not good, is it? It's like
No.
scary numbers. But if you find one on your car boot, that's awesome. And obviously, Grey Man
Keep it.
does have car boot Tony as well, so definitely if he gets lucky. I saw a really. I don't know if I sent you the link. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the new Avengers with Steed, Purdy, and Gambit. Well, yeah, that sounds better.
I don't remember that one. I don't remember Gambit being in the Avengers.
Yeah, so
I'll try and read that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I say. I don't really get the whole, because the Avengers, the makeup of the team has changed so many times over the years. I'd be a bit. I don't know. I think I just find it a little bit confusing, like in terms of like, oh right, who? I almost feel like you'd have to have read so many other character stories and things like that for the sort of crossover to make sense almost.
Deadpool was an Avenger at one point.
That's it. Well, this is what I say. So, like, it's just the Avengers. Anyway, back to Hulk, and we can actually start talking about stuff that we do have in our collections that we've actually been able to obviously read and actually enjoy. Because I did mention, obviously, you can't. Obviously, there's not. I don't like the Hulk doesn't really have as many amazing sort of key issues to collect sort of earlier on, and they're not that expensive, the ones that are kind of key. But obviously in our video a couple of was it last week or the week before, I did manage to show that I'd managed to pick up an actual real Hulk 180. So that is what I'm going to kind of mention now, really. But like this for me, Hulk 180 and Hulk 181 were those kinds of like, I'd always, if I was going to get a book before I knew anything about anything, I think these were the ones that I'd always want to get. But I don't know. As I say, I'm going to send this off. It hasn't got the Marvel value stamp in it, and you know, as I say, you can pick them up in relatively okay condition for around about probably £400 or £500 for if they've got the value stamp intact. So it's not a massively expensive book, but it's got obviously your first appearance of Wolverine, well, cameo appearance in Wolverine in 180, and that's how it'd be like quite. I don't know. It's just one of those ones that sort of always like stood out to me. So to have it. How long I'll hold on to it, I don't know, but I'll get it graded, and we'll see. We'll see what happens after that, I suppose.
It's cool. Did you say that the actual what they call a cameo appearance in this is literally a full appearance?
For me, I think this particular book, you've got it's the final page, so you do go 99% of the way through the story without having like a mention of the Wolverine, and then it's literally the last panel on the last page saying, you know, basically here's Wolverine, but it mentions him by name and it is a full picture of him. So it's such a strange concept. I think we've spoken more recently about the whole thing around like Punchline and her cameo and all of that stuff. And it was one of those, I don't know, where for me, I just think you're just never going to you're never going to win the battle because like it's so, you know, it's like people who will argue over a book being in, I don't know, a 3.5 and a 4.0. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's so fucking subjective to how an individual feels about a certain book or the value or whether they're buying it or whether they're selling it. And do you know what I mean? So a lot of people will always say that's the first appearance of Wolverine. However, it's not till 181, which if I move on, I might as well just do both while I'm here. With 181, that's I've got the facsimile.
Amen to that, Richard Nash. Hulk is the most powerful being in any universe. Totally agree.
Yeah. Well, he is. He's pretty much like. Well, he's with Immortal Hulk. The whole concept of that is he's. I mean, the stuff that happens to an Immortal Hulk being like chopped up into little pieces and put into jars and then being put back together again. It's like, it's mad. What you know, he's almost like on a celestial level. And
have you read World War Hulk?
Don't think I've read that one.
If you want to see how powerful he gets, you need to read that book.
Yeah. As I say, I do. I would like to get my head around it. I mean, that's my sort of facsimile of 181, and obviously, it is very much more the center sort of story arc. Is obviously is Wolverine. So, you know, Wolverine versus the Hulk, and how that obviously plays out. But it's I don't know. As I say, they're both amazing books.
I'd agree with my workmate Rich. The angrier he gets, the bigger he gets.
He's, as I say, he's huge, isn't he? Because again, he's not that big, is he? Like I was like surprised when I saw him in that.
He becomes proper huge, mate.
And it's like comedy proportions huge, isn't it? How big he can get, which is, I just think it's amazing. Right, we'll do your first choice then, now, Tom.
Yep, go for it, mate.
If we're going in order. I think it was this one. Do that one, yeah?
Yeah, buddy. So this is I've picked Incredible Hulk issue 92, which is the first part of my favorite book ever written so far in the Marvel universe, which is Planet Hulk. I absolutely adore this book. I know it's not everyone's favorite and it's got plot holes and all sorts, but I absolutely love this book. Mainly because the Hulk goes on to become a gladiator, which is awesome. But essentially, the story is Spartacus. But it's really good. I really enjoyed this one. This first issue is the first appearance of Meek. It's the first appearance of the Red King. It's the first appearance of what later on will become Hulk's wife, which is, I think you say her name is Kiera, the old strong. So she's pretty cool. And this is the first time that they refer to him as the Green Scar, which then later becomes on part of the actual Planet Hulk kind of book itself. I would definitely recommend to read the full story because it is great. I absolutely love it. It's one of my all-time favorite books. It's written by Greg Pak, and the artwork's by Joe Landron, and it is incredible. I've got the omnibus, which I only read this one issue in it, so I could talk about it today just to refresh myself. I then went on and read it from cover to back, so I will talk about this on Thursday as a like really get into it, as it were. But yeah, really, really good book. Can't knock it. In my opinion, I can't knock it. I'm sure people would love to. But yeah, loved it. Excellent. Grading wise, it's not one of the most like expensive things to get. If you bought a raw copy, it costs you between £20 and £30. And then once you get it CGC'd, if you get a 9.8, you're looking at about £85 to £90. So it's not that much of a big investment at the moment. But if they do a Hulk TV show or a Hulk movie, this is probably where they're going to go with it, because they've already hinted at it in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I agree. That whole time where Thor was, you know, in that the gladiator in that arena and everything, it's like you say, that journey that he had to get to that point could all be covered in this whole, like, ship him off to.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where he's gone, do you? Effectively, when he goes off in that Quinjet in whichever Avengers it was, and
yeah, I mean, it does hint to that. I won't get too far into it because I want to talk about the story on Thursday. But essentially, he does. The start of this book is he gets shot off into space in a shuttle, and that's how it all starts. And that's exactly what happens in the movie. Is he goes off in the Quinjet. You don't really know what happens to him, and then he ends up on the world with Jeff Bloombrun's character. I've forgotten his name. How to say his name now?
Goldblum.
Goldblum. Yeah, his character. So.
Yeah, it's good, man. And I know ever since I think I've known you as a person and we've spoke comic books, I know how often you've said how much you love Planet Hulk. So
yeah, it's my recommendation. Anytime anyone says to me, "Can you recommend anything to read?" This is my fucking go-to. Excuse my language.
enthusiasm abound. But yeah, so we'll we'll do a swap if you want for your Planet Hulk omnibus. So I'll have a read of that, and you can have a read of my Superman when we
Happy days, mate.
when we've well, I've got to fucking finish the blooming huge thing, so I don't know how the hell I'm meant to read that, but anyway. But yeah, so we'll do your next one as well. We'll pile on to that now.
Right, mate. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this actually is a story I actually really loved. I thought it was brilliantly well done that they did this. But if you haven't read Absolute Carnage, this is a little bit of a spoiler. And I really apologize for this, but I actually enjoyed the idea of this. So essentially, in Absolute Carnage issue 6, the Venom symbiote bonds with the Hulk, which only goes to basically say the Hulk is awesome, and then he becomes even more awesome by getting the Venom symbiote just slapped on his body, which is great. But I got this one, which is the Codex variant to the Immortal Hulk version of Absolute Carnage, and I absolutely love it just for the artwork more than anything, because for me, Venom's one of my favorite villains, and the Hulk's one of my favorite characters. So to get the two together has always been something I've drawn, I've imagined, and I've written a story about in the past. So to actually see it come to fruition was really quite exciting. So I had to get that book. I'm really happy I did. It did cost me a little bit more than I expected, but it has shot up in value, which I didn't expect that to happen. I mean, if you want to get this one raw, it's about 60-70 pounds, and if you get it CGC'd and get a 9.8, it's 120. So can't go wrong with that. And I mean, I only paid 25 quid for mine.
Yeah,
but yeah, can't go wrong. And it's the second appearance of him in the book, but it's the first cover appearance of the Hulk as Hulk symbiote job.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Especially with the you talk about like the value in that one. It's sort of the Codex variants that came out around about that time when Absolute Carnage was going through. I think they did sort of like a lot of Codex variants on the various different series. So the Immortal Hulk one, they did an Amazing Spider-Man one, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like I do definitely think that that it'll be that like you say, they're just going to keep jumping up, and that's such a cool cover as well.
Oh, it's amazing. The artwork's incredible. I'm really bad now. I don't actually know who the artist is. I know the writer is Al Ewing, and I know the writer the artist inside the book is Kyle Holtz, but I am unaware of who the artist is on the cover. I'm afraid. Sorry, I should really look into that. But yeah. Gabriele Dell'Otto did a version of this, and it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do love Dell'Otto's work. I
followed Dell'Otto before he became a comic book artist.
Yeah, there's a really iconic Amazing Spider-Man one that he does, and it's not a massively expensive cover as such, but his artwork's just fantastic, isn't it? So yeah, it's really good. It's kind of cool that you kind of touched on the fact that you have a mashup of Hulk and Venom, because obviously my sort of next book
I wrote and drew this as well when I was a kid.
Yeah, Web of Spider-Man. So this is a book that I've picked up not that long ago, within the last couple of weeks, and but prior to this, when me and Tom before we started streaming during lockdown and stuff, we had read I think it was it Amazing Spider-Man Great Power or something like that, and that's the second time, as far as I know, where you've had Spider Hulk, and yeah, I had to, when I saw this, I thought, oh well, I've got that Great Power version, I need to get the first appearance of Spider Hulk. And this, I'll be honest, as I say, I read this, and the storyline in this is so similar to the Great Power one. It's untrue. It really, really is. And the two, you could literally like just, they are kind of like one-offs in a sense. But I think the previous issue in Web of Spider-Man 69, I think there is a face-off between Spider-Man and the Hulk. And then there's obviously something that happens, which means that Spider-Man gets irradiated with gamma from the Hulk, and then he has these, where he can't control what's going on, and he turns obviously into Spider Hulk. But yeah, the artwork's really, really cool of the time, and yeah, it's a nice book. I mean, this one's okay condition as well, so it's one I'll keep hold of, because you never know, you might have, it wouldn't be a million miles away to think that they'll have a Spider Hulk on the big screen or in a TV.
It might be a what if, mate. The animated show they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just, yeah. It'd be so cool if they did do something like that. I mean, that book, I think it's about £15-20 raw, something like that. So it's not. I think it's a cool key. That's Hulk related. And again, Spider-Man's probably my number one sort of comic book character, up there with obviously Superman. So it's sort of like when you've got him being mixed with the Hulk, even better.
Yeah, Spider-Man's my number one, mate.
Yeah, definitely. So the final key is Tom's.
Yeah. So the next one for me is World War Hulk. I didn't stop at issue 1. I read the whole lot because it's a follow-on from Planet Hulk. Literally, the Planet Hulk ends, and then World War Hulk starts. Don't want to give too much away because I want to talk about it on Thursday properly. But essentially, the Hulk is coming back to planet Earth after being shot off planet Earth. And he is extremely angry. And there isn't a single superhero on our planet at the time that can take him. So it is an interesting thing that happens, and how it ends, or how they kind of sort the situation out, is again quite something like you don't see coming. And I tell you what, I've read these books, both Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, cover to cover, 3 or 4, 5 or 6 times maybe, and I completely forgot the twist in this. And I was, when it happened, I was like, oh my God, what? So yeah, I absolutely loved it. I would recommend reading both Planet Hulk and then read World War Hulk, just so you know what happens afterwards. In the first issue, which is the one I'm actually talking about now, you get the first appearance of the Hulk Buster Mark II, not Mark 1, Mark II, and it is the first one of a 5-part series that just carries on from Planet Hulk. But what I love about this one is, again, it's written by Greg Pak, and again, the artwork in it is done by John Romita Jr. Yes. But he didn't do a lot of the artwork for Planet Hulk. He did some of it, not all of it. And then the artwork on the front is done by one of my absolute favorite comic book artists, David Finch, who did a lot of the Ultimates work and bits and pieces, and he's incredible. So I mean, that's one of my favorite copies, and it's in great condition because I've never read it, because I have 2. Happy days.
No, I'd say like they're definitely ones that have, when you talk to people about like really good omnibuses and everything, they always talk Planet Hulk, World War Hulk as really, really solid sort of stories. So they
did try to carry it on, because they then did World War Hulks, where they introduced the Red Hulk, Red She-Hulk, She-Hulk, Savage She-Hulk. There's Scar, who's Hulk's son, and then there was somebody else, and it got a bit ridiculous, and it bombed terribly, and it's an awful book. It really is. I really didn't like it.
Is that the one with the big Red Hulk at the front, and is
I think it's a three-parter. I've got the 2 J. Scott Campbell covers. That has, you've got like all the green Hulks on one page and then all the red Hulks on the other, and they just basically have fun.
Yeah. Okay.
But I believe the story for World War Hulks is that Bruce Banner's decided that he's just going to round up all the Hulks and take all their abilities, including like Abomination and stuff, and they're not having it, essentially. But it just doesn't work out that well, because you find out who Red She-Hulk is, and it's really like, oh, really? That's who it is? And you find out who Red Hulk is, which is cool, but at the same time, I'm not really a fan of Red Hulk, I have to be honest. But,
yeah, because I think the Disney Plus are doing a TV show called The Thunderbolts, aren't they? And they're talking. Yeah. There's a lot of hype from a key comic perspective around a lot of the appearances that took place, obviously, because you're going to have obviously the She-Hulk series as well. But there's a lot of like keys that are piling up around like of that, like that, you know, that one comic book run where you've got like the Red Hulk on the front, and then I think you have like the red, like almost like a Red She-Hulk kind of on one of the covers as well. And those covers are quite popular, and they're like modern keys, but they're proving quite popular because of all the buzz around like the Thunderbolts TV show, because they think that show is going to incorporate a lot of, you know, because it's all about like the gamma experimentation and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you're going to see quite a lot of like the different Hulks appear in that as well. So yeah, obviously too many keys to mention today, but still worthwhile keeping an eye open for, definitely. But no, I think we've talked out all the books, haven't we? So shall we talk giveaways?
Go on then, yeah.
So giveaway time. If you haven't taken place, basically we started wanting to do this giveaway back at the end of February and into March, and then the world went a little bit mad, and we weren't too sure, so we put a stop to the giveaway back then, and we brought it back. But everybody who took part at the end of February, at the start of March, obviously you are still entered. We've still got all your entries, but if you want to take part to win what I've got to show you here, do make sure that you put in the comments of the actual video, not necessarily in the live chat that's going on at the moment, but in the comments, just put hashtag NQN giveaway and we'll record your entry. And what you can win is basically this big stack of comics. So we randomly drew these comics out on our, well, it used to be, it's our monthly Comic Blend show, which, so obviously just as a bit of an idea, all of these comics that you got. So I think we've got about 10 comics, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and including these ones at the back, which are February picks of the month. Obviously, when we were getting weekly releases on comics, we always have a pick of the week and combine them into our picks of the month, which we always give away at the end of the month. So you've got Detective Comics Annual, which is all about Batman dealing with
such a good book,
fantastic story. And then we always pick like a cover art of the month as well, and that's DC The Unkillables 1, and that again Francesco Mattina cover, which we picked. But most importantly, guys, is that Tom obviously has done a Remarks sort of comic cover sketch. So you'll get an original piece of artwork from obviously Tom there, of the art of Tom Mailing. So do go and check that out, check out his website. But yeah, so you're going to get that as well. So everything all bundled into a nice little NQN crate. And
Greyman's asked if he's in the draw. I think you have.
I think Grey
hashtag somewhere. But if you just in case you haven't, just comment in the actual comments below. Just put hashtag NQN crate just in case.
Yeah. Just so we guarantee that we don't miss anybody anyway. So yeah, we've got that going on. So exciting stuff. But we'll do that we're going to try and keep a giveaway going every month now, aren't we? So Hopefully in the next month or so we'll actually be able to do live streams and record some different content to get out to you as well.
But if you are enjoying us going back and reading the keys of certain characters, then yeah, please leave us a comment in the comments below and just let us know we're doing okay. I've run out of independent characters that I can think of apart from Invincible, which we might be doing next week, and Bloodshot. So if you have any characters out there you'd like to see us read that aren't Marvel or DC, then let us know, because that'd be cool to see what else is out there.
Yeah. Just, if you do it on this video, Grey Man, and then it'll just round it up, and then you'll know you're in for this month. It's only one entry per person, isn't it? Anyway, the contest. So.
Grey Man's asked if you can go full screen on my artwork, Rich.
All right, yeah. 1 moment, 1 second.
So you have to hoik me out.
No, you'll still be there in the background. I think you can still talk, but yeah. So, so yeah. Need some like epic music playing here, like.
Was that Pirates of the Caribbean?
I don't know what it was, or it might have been some version of the Avengers, but like my remix.
Pirates of the Avengers.
Pirates of the do it. That'd be one hell of a crossover. Disney own everything in the world now, don't they? So why not?
Hashtag NQM giveaway, mate.
Yeah. Hashtag NQM giveaway. We'll get you entered, mate. No problem. But yeah, so we are pretty much all caught up. We are going to do another stream on Thursday night where we're just going to talk about bits and bobs that we've been reading and just have a general like chinwag about stuff that we've been reading, anything that we've been looking at buying, yeah, we'll do that then, won't we, mate? So at this point, I think we'll draw things to a close. So thanks ever so much for watching, people. I am obviously going to see you on Thursday, hopefully. Make sure that you subscribed. Make sure that you hit the little bell so you don't miss any of our work, and give us a thumbs up. And I'll tell you to stay safe and take care.
Me and Raggles are going to say stay home, stay safe, look after each other, read loads of comics, and see ya!